Masters Berlin was a goddamn treat. And in this video, I'm going to list the top 10 players of the tournament. And obviously, these are my top 10 players who impressed me during the tournament. Don't be mad when you don't see Hiko on the top 10. The first name in my top 10 list is Mako from Vision Strikers. Now, personally, I think this guy was the best Astra in this tournament, with his timing on how he uses his Astra utility. I think Gambit in the playoffs was only truly pushed by Vision Strikers. Vision Strikers are known to use an abundance amount of utility when they're defaulting and when they are executing. Mako had the highest APR with 0.41 in this tournament. We're talking about the highest assists per round at 0.41, almost half an assist per round. You know how incredible that is on Astra, using his utility to help his teammates frag out. And I just wanted to really showcase Mako here. I think he deserves top 10. His play on Astra definitely makes Vision Strikers a ridiculous strong competitor going into Champions in December. At number 9, it's another Vision Strikers player, and it's Buzz. And I believe that this guy is a really good duelist, and his space creation on Jet is excellent due to him being the spearhead of Vision Strikers. His stats look like this: an ACS of 238 throughout the tournament, ADR at 151, a KD of 1.23. And the one thing about Buzz is he needs to be that guy that creates space. He needs to be the guy to open duels up. But uniquely with how Vision Strikers wants to play, they use an incredible amount of utility to set Buzz up. So if he's not firing at all cylinders, Vision Strikers' level of play will not be as solid if Buzz is not on his game. Chronicle takes 8th on my list. The man from Gambit. He was having a quiet but extremely important tournament until he got to the finals and went absolutely sicko mode. Man, Chronicle, best Sova in EMEA? I mean, I don't know, he might be the best Sova in Europe. He probably is the best Sova in Europe. You know, he's the man on Sova, Viper, and Brimstone, and being the second best clutch player who made plays to give Gambit so much momentum. 1v3s, perfect timings. The only thing about Chronicle is, for me, he was overshadowed by Nats. But Gambit's improved attacking halves during Berlin are due to a fine-tuned Chronicle. His performance levels just went another level on LAN. And like, you look at this guy's stats, and we're talking about a guy who put up an ACS of 223, an ADR of 153, basically a kill per round, a KD of 1.35. Just a ridiculous tournament by Chronicle, and the whole Gambit roster deserves credit, but I chose Chronicle to be 8th on this list because I think he was just steady, confident, and really showed up in the biggest game of his career so far. The young French star of G2 takes 7th on my list. And before Berlin, G2, Mixwell was saying, you know what, Kellogg's a little more inexperienced, but we're going to develop him into a superstar. That's G2's goal, but I think throughout Berlin, you can see that he's already at that level. He is close to that superstar level. He's a real sharpshooter for G2. But one thing I noticed with Kellogg's throughout the tournament is he's a player that exudes a lot of confidence, brings a lot of energy to the table, and he's willing to make the opening play for G2. You look at his first kills per round, it's at 0.17. He got a total of 46 first kills in 275 rounds. You know, he impressed me a lot throughout this tournament. Looks like a really good player. And if G2 can really start building their play around Kellogg's and kind of unleash him a little bit more, G2 are going to be dangerous. So watch out, because they're going to be an LCQ in Europe. So 6th on my list goes to Captain America, 100 Thieves Nitro. And honestly, throughout Berlin, he really showcased his supreme consistency, his unwavering mentals against the likes of Ascent and Envy. The only guy in the 100 Thieves roster that performed consistent, with an ADR of 148 and a KD of 1.26 and even an APR of 0.3, you can see how consistent Nitro really was. But Nitro is a pillar for 100 Thieves. I think on LAN he really showed his experience from CSGO, and I just think maybe 100 Thieves should look to make him the Jet Opper, because I wasn't too impressed with Asana's opping ability. I think Asana is a fantastic Reyna, a fantastic Raze. I think his Jet is good. I just think he needs to rifle more. His strong suit is rifling. Nitro's Jet against Ascend on Breeze was a true statement of how good Nitro can be on Jet, and I just personally think Nitro deserves to be 6th on this list. I bet some people look at top 5 and they're like, wow, TenZ, really? He wasn't good. And I don't know, man. The stats don't lie. And I think his performance were excellent except for one map against Envy. That got everyone on Reddit and Twitter questioning his ability on Raze. Like he didn't play it with Cloud9. Like he didn't play it against Fnatic in Reykjavik. But you know, man, recency bias is real and the internet is filled with trolls. So let's just look at TenZ's stats. His ADR, 179. That's ridiculously high. KD, 1.38. Almost pushing 1.4. Like even those Sentinels, their overall performance, their team performance was shaky, undisciplined. TenZ was still insane. He was still great. You know, he had a blip on a map. And I just think Sentinels, I don't know if it was overconfidence. I don't know if it was complacency, but they didn't look as good as they did during their first LAN in Reykjavik. But this is just going to make TenZ, you know, Dapper, Sick, Shazam, Zombs, you know, they're going to go even harder in Champions in LA in December. Don't worry about Sentinels and don't worry about TenZ. He's still a top 5 player in this list. Number 4, Cned, the Turkish superstar. He just looked unreal all tournament long, and he did not falter on LAN, even though this is his first big LAN event in his career. He's an absolute force with the op. That 100 Thieves decided to focus their defaults on where is Cned. Okay, Cned's there. Yeah, let's hit the other side. And when, like, if you have a player like Cned that makes the opponents fear, like, his presence with the op, it's just so important for that team. And his style of opping is the most unique out of all oppers, like, in the world. Like, for example, the way he spams op shots through smokes, or double updraft, land, and hit an op shot. It is ridiculous. Cned is probably the best Jet player in EU, and the rate he's going, he could probably be the best Jet player in the world. Statistically, with an ACS of 268, an ADR of 168, and what I like about Cned is he likes to use the Phantom. He likes to use the Vandal. He's not always opping. More specifically on defense, on attack, he likes to space create with a rifle. Alright, I'm gonna say it. My top 3, he's the best Sova in the world. We're talking about Envy and their Sova player in Crashies. Now, after that performance against Sentinels in the quarters and 100 Thieves in the semis, all I can say is Crashies is clinical and clutch. His stats were 218 ACS, 159 ADR, and an assist APR of 0.33 on solo. Just ridiculous. It's like just crazy how he can put up insane performances on Sova, and how his Sova is focused on spacing and executes, being on the site, trying to trade his teammates, and influence the game on sites on executes. Crashies is an elite level player, and I just want to put respect on his name. He is the best Sova in the world until, you know, someone disputes that. Like, until someone showcases that they can outperform Crashies. But right now, Crashies is the best Sova player, and I don't think anyone can argue otherwise. Like, you see his numbers, you saw his performances against 100 Thieves and Sentinels, two of the top teams in NA. He just really showed up on LAN, and the whole Envy roster was fantastic, but Gotta really give Crashy Shears, definitely a top 3 player. Number 2, El Diablo is real. NVA, he's a true animal. His stats this tournament, they were unrivaled. I don't think anyone comes close to what Ye did. Coach Mike's of Envy and the Envy roster has made like adaptations to how they play to allow Ye to be so impactful. Look at Ye's first kills per round at 0.22. He had 55 first kills in 248 rounds. That stat alone is ridiculous. Ye's a statistical beast. And what he can do on Jett is really special. It's just the way Envy sets up Ye with their utility. Marv using his Astra utility perfectly to set up Ye. Victor using his Sky Flashes to set Ye on an angle. Like for example, on Ascent A main or Ascent B main. They will use utility to get, you know, Ye posted on an angle to completely gain map control. Like, honestly, you gotta watch out for Envy. They could be the best team in the world coming in after December. We might be saying, you know what, Envy is the best player in the world, and El Diablo is the best Jett in the world. So, number one, we're finally there. And this guy was the MVP of the whole tournament for me. It's the Sentinel player on Gambit. It's Nats. His consistency throughout this tournament was ridiculous. On Cypher, on Viper, an ACS of 266, an ADR of 171, a KD of 1.4, and an APR of 0.3. How does he get these stats whilst playing Cypher and Viper? Like, I'll never know. His play eclipsed the likes of TenZ, Kollogg, Asuna, Sick, just showing how ridiculous his numbers were on a surface level. But what's so, like, incredible, so tremendous is his lurking ability to find excellent timings to backstab opponents on the lurks, and it was just so vital for Gambit. It was just an added pressure to the opponents to think that, okay, well, we know Gambit has Defo on Jett, we gotta worry about where he is, but also, we gotta worry about this Viper wall, or this Cypher cage, because Nats could be behind the wall, or in the cage, and he's, like, already behind the enemy lines. It is the constant pressure that Nats applies to the enemy team. It's just due to his incredible utility usage, due to the unique way Gambit wants to play, due to how clinical Nats is. This guy is, oh, he's just fantastic. There's just not enough words to describe how good Nats was during the tournament. Just a ridiculous performance. And the one thing about this kid is you can tell that he is so confident, so composed, doesn't really let his emotions take over. And it's a really good trait to have. But Nats was definitely the MVP of the tournament. Even if he lost that finals, I think I would have put him number 1 just because of the ridiculous numbers he put up as a Cypher, as a Viper. Now, that was my top 10 list. Hope you enjoyed the video. Some honorable mentions: Sentinel Sick, Asuna from 100 Thieves, Blaz, Neth, Nucky, and the Brazilian All-Star Heat from Vivoed Keed. If you guys think these guys should be in the top 10, comment down below who's your top 10 from Masters Berlin and the most exciting moment in Berlin. Personally, mine was watching Vision Strikers. They really impressed me this tournament.